Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, give me some of that juicy brut. Juicy Brut is a 4.2% Brut IPA from Shorts Brewing Company in Bellaire, Michigan. Brut IPAs are one of the newest IPA offshoots, and they're characterized by their dry finish due to enzymes that are added during the brewing process. Now, this isn't my first rodeo with the Brut style. I've tried offerings from Brewery Vivant and Oddside, and the Brut style has become, it's getting to be fairly common with breweries like Sierra Nevada and New Belgium. Now they're in on the fun too. I do have to say though, I don't think I've ever seen any that are quite this low. 4.2% is definitely in sessionable territory, and I'm interested to see if they can actually be juicy so to speak, at that low of an ABV. So let's take a look at the label and get this into a glass. Fun fact, Brut simply means very dry. So looking at this label here, it says Shorts Juicy Brut Ale on the front, 4.2% alcohol by volume. It looks like these kind of hop cones with some juice kind of dripping out of them. It has the government warning on the side here, and then it says brewed and bottled by Shorts Brewing Company in Elk Rapids. I know in the intro I said at Bellaire, but I'm just going by their headquarters. They're in Bellaire. Their tap room or their main pub is in Bellaire, but this says Elk Rapids, and then it has all the deposit information. And this was packaged on January 23rd, 2019. So just as of this, just about a month ago. So this is fairly new. Shorts has said, I thought that I read somewhere that this was going to be one of their flagships, but it seems like it's just kind of a try and see kind of thing. Hopefully it's not going to be a situation where they jump in a little bit too early like it was with Slurm and then Slurmlord. Slurm being the single New England style IPA they tried last year, or actually 2017, and then Slurmlord was the double, which has been out again. This is just the regular old Shorts cap, nothing special, nothing to market as anything else. Usually I think all of Shorts caps are just the same design. So cracking this open, we'll get a smell out of the bottle here. It has a little bit of a citrusy kind of juicy scent to it. Smells like an IPA for sure. Let's go ahead and get it in the glass. And that is coming out pretty light. It's pretty light coming out of the bottle itself. Letting it sit there. It is a really light colored beer. I mean, that is really very light. It's really light yellow. It's very, there's a little bit of a haze to it, but not much. And it's very, very transparent actually, and very, very light. I wasn't expecting it to be this light. I was expecting it to be a little bit more like Humalupalicious, which is a little bit more of an amber kind of color, but that's also an IPA or I think that's a single. I think that's a single IPA, not a double. Really white head, very rocky, a lot of large bubbles. You can see from the overhead here, there are a lot of larger bubbles there, kind of hanging on. Very big bubbles though overall. Let's get a better nose on this out of the glass. But yeah, it has a very citrusy kind of scent to it. I'm picking up on a lot of citrus, just kind of like an orangey, bright kind of scent. It actually smells pretty sweet. Has a sweetness to the smell. So let's go ahead and get a taste. Cheers. Wow, it's got like it's really light. It's got a really nice and light body. It's not heavy. It's not thick. It's 4.2%. I wouldn't expect it to be really any different than being light and having light body. It's got a very kind of tangy, lemony kind of quality to it. Citrusy, not really orangey, so to speak. It's more that kind of like that lemony kind of quality. But the taste you get, it kind of then fades and subsides into that kind of like a bitterness, but then it's really dry. It gets dry right away. There's a little bit of bitterness on the aftertaste. If you don't get the flavor in that first kind of when it starts to get in your mouth, you're not going to get the flavor because a lot of the rest of it is just the kind of dry aftertaste that comes in and that little bit of a hoppy bitterness to it. Yeah, very drinkable, very crushable. but not really heavy on taste. Obviously, it's 4.2 sessionable. It doesn't have a whole lot of bursting flavor. It's kind of a muted IPA kind of taste, citrusy, lemony, zesty, and then you get that little kind of citrus bitterness on the tail end, but it goes in the aftertaste. It gets really dry. It almost like feels like it just evaporates off of your tongue. But yeah, I guess at 4.2%, it is pretty tasty. It does have quite a bit of taste for being that low, because sometimes you get, if it's not overly fruited, you don't get a lot of taste at 4.2%. I would say that, yeah, this is very crushable. This is one where if you're going to sit and have a bunch of beers with your buddies, watch a game, or you're tailgating or something, and you don't want to go with a regular lager, or you don't want to go with a regular like a Bud Light, or maybe a Founder's Solid Gold, or an Odd Side Beer Me, or something in that vein, and you want to get something with a little bit of more of an ale taste, more of an IPA taste, you can go with this. It's dry. It's got a dry finish. It's not going to put you under if you have a few of these, few pops before the game, or maybe you're going to play golf. I could see this being very refreshing in the heat. Unfortunately, right now it's about 24 degrees outside, so it's not something that I would drink to be refreshed, so to speak, but I think that it definitely has its place. It's really light. If you're just looking for something to kind of throw back and you want to get into the Brut IPAs, this might be an entry-level one for you to try, because it's not overly dry. I found that Brewery Vivant's Champion Brut was a lot drier, had a lot of a drier taste. This is dry, but it's not like a super, super, super dry finish, and it has a good taste for it, and it's 4.2%. Hey, more beer that you can drink at 4.2% that has taste to it, that has a little bit of that juiciness, has a little bit of that citrus flavor. You can't go wrong there. All right, friends, that has been Juicy Brut from Shorts Brewing Company. Have you had this beer? And if so, what did you think? Do you like the Brut IPA style? Do you think it's here to stay? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like Michigan beer, you may as well stick around, subscribe maybe, because I'm here talking about it twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can also find links to my social media, some merch, and if you're interested in the gear that I use, you can find links for that in the description below this video too. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. And remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.